Hey everybody, today we're talking about follicular unit extraction, and we talk about that in terms of hair transplantation. Hair transplantation, as many of you know, has come a long way in the last several decades. Gone are the days where people got macro transplants, meaning they would take multiple hairs at one time and kind of line them up like a doll's hair on someone's head. Gave a very artificial appearance, didn't look good, kind of gave hair transplantation a bad name. They were considered very pluggy. Nowadays, we do something called follicular unit extraction. And what that is essentially is we take single follicular units at a time. So if you blow up a large version of someone's scalp under a microscope or under magnification, you'll see that there's little holes in the head, and each of those holes have one hair that comes out, 2 holes, 3 hairs, and occasionally they have sometimes 4 hairs. So what we do is we actually take those exact follicular units and then transfer them to the top of the head, creating a very natural look. So if follicular unit extraction is done correctly, it should be very challenging to even recognize someone who's had it done. It's incredibly effective. What we use in our practice is we use a very special device. Now in the terms of follicular unit extraction, that has actually come a long way too. So now the size of the punch has been very critically important. The old punches, and what a lot of other facilities use at this point, are as big as 1 millimeter, 1.2 millimeters, up to 1.4 millimeters. The exact numbers aren't important, but I can tell you that nowadays the punch size has gotten smaller and smaller, to the extent that our punch now is either 0.5 or 0.6 millimeters, which is almost the diameter of a needle. It's really small, so that there's absolutely no scarring in the back of the head whatsoever. There's no way that when someone has this done, that even their hairdresser or anyone looking very closely at the back of their head, when it's cut even super short, would ever be able to tell that they had this done. So it's really come a long way, and very exciting. A lot of people say, you know, what's new in the follicular unit extraction world, and a couple things that we do differently here at our facility is we almost universally use PRP, or platelet-rich plasma, as part of the transplant. Many of you know platelet-rich plasma, but essentially we take a small amount of blood from the arm. We put it in a special machine that extracts all the platelets from the blood. And as many of you know, the platelets are what contain all the growth factors and the nutrients. And we use that PRP to fertilize the head prior to putting the transplants in. We also use the PRP as kind of a holding solution or bathing solution for the grafts themselves to give them nourishment while they're outside the body. So that's been really fantastic for us. In addition, we always store the grafts during the follicular unit extraction in something called hypothermosol, which is a special holding solution that's similar in composition to what they use to store organ transplants. And that allows us to get the maximum amount of viability out of our grafts and make them nice and strong when we're ready to implant them into the scalp.